In a remote corner of southern Africa lies Morocco, a village cradled by thorny hills and a cracked, endless savanna. The air is dry, the soil parched, and no clear road leads in or out. It is a place whispered about in nearby settlements, a village swallowed by time, where ancestors still murmur through the leaves. From above, the scattered clay huts look like secrets embedded in the earth itself, undisturbed, eternal. At the edge of Morocco stands the bone tree, a towering acacia with gnarled black limbs that stretch like broken arms to the sky. Instead of fruit or leaves, its thorns cradle relics, animal bones, charms, and, years ago, a girl's finger. This tree is no mere plant. It is a monument, a witness, and in some whispered corners, a judge. The villagers fear it. The brave avoid it. But it remembers every truth buried beneath its roots. Nya, born under the dry moon, is the daughter of silence. Her eyes hold questions too deep for words, and her lips rarely move. There is an oldness about her, something carved not from years, but from memory. Other children run and shout, she listens. She walks with the calm of rain never arriving. Her presence unsettles even the wind, as though she belongs to something older than the village itself. Old Mahi's hut is more shrine than home. The air is heavy with smoke and crushed leaves. Bottles clink softly as if whispering to one another, and feathers dangle like forgotten prayers. This is where Nya was raised, a space between worlds, guarded by a blind woman whose eyes still see through dreams. Here, truth is fermented in silence, and Nya grows among the ghosts of knowledge. Beneath the watchful thorns of the bone tree, Nya sits nightly, her hands combing the dust like a reader of forgotten languages. She's not drawing, not playing, she's deciphering. The tree hums above her, not with wind, but with memory. In this sacred African night, the girl listens not with ears, but with bone, decoding whispers left behind by those who never got to speak. In her dreams, Nya sees a dancer, barefoot, cloaked in fog, moving with sorrowful grace under the moon's white eye. Thorny vines slither around them, dripping sap like blood. Each movement is both beautiful and tragic, as though the dancer performs not for joy but remembrance. The dance ends abruptly in a scream that slices the silence. And each time, Nya wakes, knowing it was never just a dream. One night, guided by an urge older than reason, Nya walks barefoot to the ancient stone circle. As she steps into its center, the dust rises like spirits called to witness. The air thickens. The earth hums. The villagers call this place cursed. But for Nya, it is familiar. She does not tremble. She listens, because the ground has started to speak. As Nya kneels, the soil shifts and splits. From beneath, a face carved in clay slowly rises, eyes closed, lips parted in eternal whisper. It is not sculpture. It is memory made form. The tree watches. The land breathes. And a voice resonates from the deep, bring her back. In this part of Africa, even the soil holds grudges, and now it begins to unveil them. Nya is gone. Vanished into the night without word or trace. The sky churns with thunder that does not fall. In the village, firelight flickers with unease. Mothers hush their children. Elders cast bone readings in secrecy. No one speaks aloud what they fear, that Nya has crossed into the forgotten, chasing the shadow of a name they dared to bury. She returns. But behind her walks a ghost, a girl the villagers once loved and lost, her name long erased from memory. Mava's spirit flickers like candlelight, sorrow wrapped in shadow. Nya walks slowly, solemnly. The past follows her now, not like a burden, but like a reckoning. Morocco holds its breath. Chief Rocco sits surrounded by shadow, each one curling with judgment. His hands tremble, old and guilty. He knows what is coming. Long ago, he silenced Mava's screams beneath the bone tree. Now, truth has returned, not in fury, but in the form of a girl with eyes full of storm. And Nya's voice cuts through the silence, say her name. As Chief Rocco steps toward denial, the ground splits. Thick vines surge upward like angry ancestors, coiling around his legs, dragging him toward the soil. He screams, but the earth listens only to truth. In Africa, the land is not passive. It judges. It remembers. And tonight, it has chosen justice. Rain falls at last, sharp, cold, and pure. Nya stands barefoot in the stone circle, her skin soaked, her heart alight. Across her back, she carries a drum, not an instrument of rhythm, but of resurrection. She does not beat it. She is the beat. The villagers gather, rain tracing their faces. And through the thunder, her voice rises, say what you buried. At first, there is only silence. Then a whisper. Then two. Then a wave of trembling voices. Mava. Names carry weight into Morocco. And tonight, the truth returns through those who once turned away. Her name becomes a chant, a rhythm, a storm. And with it, the ghost softens. Mava glows now, no longer shadow, but dawn. Her eyes shine with peace, her form unraveling into light. She smiles at Nya, her final words soft as morning, "You've remembered me." Around her, petals float like blessings unspoken. The past has been honored. The pain, released. The sky bursts. Rain kisses every rooftop, every scar. Children squeal and dance in the mud, hands raised to heaven. Elders weep not in sadness, but relief. For the first time in decades, the drought is broken. Not just of water, but of truth. The land drinks deeply. Soaked and glowing, Nya walks among them. No one bows, but all part in silence. It is not fear they carry, but reverence. She is not chief, not priestess, she is memory given flesh. Her steps are a hymn. And as she passes, even the trees seem to exhale. The bone tree blooms. White petals burst from black thorns like snow rising from the ground. The bones remain, but they are no longer warnings. They are seeds. The village stares in awe. Grief has grown into beauty. And the tree, once feared, now blesses. Underneath the flowering branches, barefoot children dance where once they whispered in fear. Their laughter rings like drums. They do not know the full story, but they feel its rhythm. In this African village, joy is now an inheritance, passed from silence to sound. By firelight, Nya sits with a circle of children, the drum resting beside her. Her voice carries the tale, not for entertainment, but for memory. She speaks of Mava, of shadows that dance not to haunt, but to heal. The children lean in, eyes wide, souls ready. Nya holds a calabash of glowing embers. She places it gently in the hands of a young girl. No words. Just legacy. In Morocco, memory is passed like flame, quietly, carefully, and always in trust. The bone tree sleeps beneath the stars, its petals glowing like lanterns in the dark. No longer a grave. No longer a threat. It has become a guardian of stories. Its silence now comforts. The ancestors rest. The forest breathes again. Birds return to branches. Monkeys chatter in peace. The wind carries not warning, but welcome. Even the wild things know, the village has healed. Guided by something unseen, Nya steps into a mossy cave. Its walls are alive with symbols, spirals, rivers, suns. They speak not with words, but with knowing. She lays the drum in the center. The earth hums in approval. The circle is complete. At dawn, Morocco looks reborn. Smoke rises from cookfires. Laughter rings softly. The bone tree stands tall in bloom. At its edge, Nya closes her eyes, her hands on her drum. The land remembers. And now, it sings. As the sun stretched its golden arms across the horizon, Nya stood at the threshold of Morocco, where village paths gave way to wild, untamed plains. Her drum hung across her back like a second spine. She did not turn for goodbyes. The land itself whispered farewells, rustling the grass with gratitude. She had awakened something deeper than justice, she had become a keeper of rhythm, a vessel of memory. And now the road called her name, soft and wide like breath. In Africa, journeys begin not when you leave, but when the earth is ready to let you go. Her footsteps whispered through the tall grass as if the land parted willingly beneath her. Overhead, a line of birds soared, their formation silent yet purposeful, mirroring her mission. The savanna pulsed with ancient energy, each blade of grass like a string plucked in a forgotten song. Nya's presence did not disturb the wild, it harmonized with it. She was no longer a child from a hidden village, she was part of Africa's deeper rhythm, a rhythm that moved with wind, rain, and the names of the forgotten. The village was unfamiliar but carried the same weight of silence Morocco once did. Clay walls, watchful eyes, quiet mouths. As Nya crossed its boundary, no one spoke, but every heart stirred. Something about her walk, her stillness, her presence, felt like prophecy. Children peeked from behind mothers' skirts. Elders furrowed their brows, sensing the pulse of something long buried now rising with her every step. She had come not to disrupt, but to remember. Under the sacred baobab, its trunk thick with stories, Nya sat with girls gathered at her feet. She did not command them. She shared. With every word, she poured the story of Mava, the bone tree, and the rain that came when truth finally broke free. The girls listened, not to be entertained, but to be entrusted. In Africa, stories are not for leisure. They are seeds. And on this morning, Nya sowed a field of them. The smallest girl, her fingers shaking but curious, reached out to touch the drum. As her skin met the hide, a faint vibration passed between them, like a heartbeat, like a door unlocking. Nya said nothing. She only smiled. The drum had found its next listener. In this forgotten corner of Africa, memory is never lost. It simply waits for the right hands to awaken it again. Beneath the vast African sky, now painted in molten orange and soft purple, Nya walks alone, her shadow long behind her, her future wide ahead. The land exhales as she goes, not to forget her, but to carry her rhythm further. Her drum rests against her back, quiet for now, but never truly silent. With every step, she carries the echo of justice, of Mava, of the bone tree, of rains that fell when truth finally bloomed. She is no longer a child of one village. She belongs to the land, to memory, to every untold story waiting in the soil. In this African twilight, Nya becomes more than herself, she becomes the rhythm that will awaken the next soul.